Sleepwalking. Sleepwalking is a type of parasomnia where a person gets out of bed and walks or engages in complex activities while still asleep. Sleepwalkers usually have their eyes open, often with a glazed, unblinking look, but they are unresponsive and have no memory of their actions. Activities can range from sitting up or moving around to walking, eating, dressing, or even leaving the house. Sleepwalking is believed to happen when a person partially wakes up from deep sleep but remains in a state of slow-wave sleep. This incomplete arousal causes motor systems to activate while the brain remains unaware. Triggers for sleepwalking include sleep deprivation, fever, noise, alcohol, and certain medications. Genetics also play a role, with many sleepwalkers having a family history. The brain's cortex stays asleep while the motor centers activate, leading to purposeful but unaware actions like walking toward familiar places. Sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a temporary inability to move or speak during the transitions between sleep and wakefulness. It usually occurs either right after falling asleep or just before fully waking up. During an episode that the person is awake and aware of their surroundings but feels completely paralyzed. These episodes can last anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes. Sleep paralysis happens because of a misalignment between the brain and the body. Normally during a REM sleep, when dreams are most realistic, our muscles become temporarily paralyzed, preventing us from acting out our dreams. In sleep paralysis, the brain wakes up while this paralysis continues. As a result, the body remains immobile even though the mind is alert. Those with fragmented REM sleep, narcolepsy, or high stress levels are more likely to experience sleep paralysis. It can also occur when muscles are relaxed during waking. Sleep talking. Sleep talking occurs when someone speaks aloud while asleep, often without being aware of it. This can range from mumbling or gibberish to full sentences or even long speeches. Sleep talking typically happens during non-REM sleep, though it can also occur in REM. People may whisper, laugh, curse, or shout, sometimes in a coherent manner, but they generally have no memory of what they said once awake. For most healthy adults, isolated instances of sleep talking are common and harmless. The cause of sleep talking is believed to be related to partial arousal of the brain's language centers, while motor control is still intact. One theory is that sleep talking results from a mix of sleep and waking states, where the speech areas become active. Children are more prone to sleep talking due to brain immaturity in lighter sleep stages. Emotional or negative dreams often make sleep talking more vivid, and some research suggests that sleep speech can mirror dream content. Out-of-body experiences, OBE. An OBE is when a person perceives themselves as floating or observing their body from an external perspective. In the context of sleep, OBEs often occur during sleep paralysis or hypnagogic, hypnopompic states. During these experiences, the sleeper feels detached from their physical body and may see the room from a third-person viewpoint. OBEs during sleep are believed to be linked to a misalignment of sensory signals, particularly balance and body position signals. When transitioning between sleep and wakefulness, these sensory inputs can become disorganized. The temporoparietal junction, which helps the brain process body awareness, may misfire, creating a split between the self and the physical body. Sleep paralysis can trigger these sensations because, although the body remains immobile due to REM paralysis, the mind is alert, filling the void by generating an outside perspective. Exploding head syndrome, EHS. EHS is a sleep-related phenomenon where a person suddenly hears a loud, explosive noise in their head when falling asleep or waking up. The sound can resemble a bomb, gunshot, or a loud static burst. Importantly, this noise is perceived internally, not from an external source, and may also be accompanied by a brief flash of light. Despite the intensity of the sound, no actual explosion occurs, and the episode is typically harmless, although it can be very startling. The cause of EHS is not fully understood, but it is thought to involve minor seizures, temporal lobe activity, or abnormal firing in the auditory brainstem during transitions between sleep and wakefulness. Some theories suggest that during the drowsy stage of falling asleep or waking up, the brain may misfire, sending a burst of neurological activity that gets interpreted as sound. Another possibility is dysfunction in the brain's mechanisms that normally suppress sensory input during sleep. Lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is the phenomenon where a person becomes aware that they are dreaming while still inside the dream. In a lucid dream, the sleeper realizes this is a dream and may even have the ability to control aspects of the dream, such as flying or solving problems. This occurs most commonly during REM sleep. The exact cause of lucid dreaming is still being studied, but it appears to involve activation of brain regions, particularly the frontal areas, that are usually inactive during the REM sleep. Neuroscientists have discovered that people who frequently experience lucid dreams have different brain connectivity, especially in the prefrontal cortex. Some theories suggest that genetics or training could play a role in achieving lucidity, though stress or fragmented REM sleep might also lead to partial awareness. Lucid dreaming happens when the dreaming system and self-awareness overlap, creating a unique state that blends emotional, vivid dreaming with reflective consciousness. Hypnic jerks. Hypnic jerks are sudden muscle twitches or contractions that happen just as you're falling asleep. These twitches can feel like you're tripping or falling, causing you to jolt awake with a start. Sometimes the jerk is felt throughout the body, but often it's just a limb, like an arm or leg, that jerks. The exact cause of hypnic jerks isn't fully understood. Some experts believe that it's a mismatch between the brain and muscles. As you start to fall asleep, your muscles relax, and the brain may mistakenly interpret this as a sign that you're falling, triggering a muscle response to correct this. Another theory is that it's an evolutionary trait to prevent people from falling off trees while sleeping. Things like stress, lack of sleep, caffeine, or medications can make them more likely. Around 60 to 70% of adults experience hypnic jerks occasionally, and they are normal when they don't happen too often. Sleep drunkenness. Sleep drunkenness refers to the cognitive and sensorimotor impairment people experience right after waking up. During this period, which can last anywhere from a few minutes to an hour, a person may feel groggy, disoriented, or confused. They might have trouble thinking clearly, struggle with decision-making, or experience slowed reaction times. The exact cause of sleep drunkenness isn't completely understood, but one theory is that it serves as a protective mechanism, easing the transition from sleep to wakefulness. During sleep, the brain exhibits high slow-wave activity, and this can persist briefly when a person wakes up. This lingering deep sleep activity can make it difficult to fully wake up right away. Another possible explanation involves chemicals like adenosine, which build up during sleep deprivation and may stay elevated after waking, contributing to sleepiness. Microsleep. Microsleeps are very brief episodes where sleep intrudes into wakefulness, typically lasting just a few seconds. During a microsleep, a person may have their eyes open but lose conscious awareness. The brainwave activity during this time resembles sleep, with the EEG showing slow wave or theta waves. Behaviorally, the person might briefly nod off, lose track of time, or fail to respond to stimuli, only to suddenly snap out of it. Microsleeps are most common when a person is severely sleep deprived. Microsleeps happen because the brain is forcing sleep due to a buildup of sleep pressure. After extended wakefulness, the brain's sleep mechanisms can briefly take over even when the person is awake. Monotonous tasks like driving on a straight road can make microsleeps more likely. These episodes may involve brief lapses in the firing patterns of small regions in the cortex. Essentially, microsleeps are the brain's way of getting rest, even if only for a moment. False awakenings. A false awakening is a vivid dream where the sleeper believes they've woken up and are going through normal daily activities such as getting out of bed or checking their phone. However, later on, the person truly wakes up, realizing they were still dreaming. This can sometimes happen repeatedly in a layered awakening scenario. The dream environment often mirrors the actual bedroom, though with subtle differences that are only noticed once the person is fully awake. False awakenings typically occur during REM sleep. They are thought to be linked to stress or hyperarousal, with the brain creating a dream scenario of waking up due to anxiety or anticipation. Some believe that REM fragmentation plays a role, where the brain briefly moves toward wakefulness, but slips back into REM, producing a false wake experience. Sleep teeth grinding. When this involuntary clenching or grinding of teeth occurs during sleep, it is referred to as sleep bruxism. This can produce audible grinding sounds and may lead to worn or damaged teeth over time. Most people are unaware they grind their teeth while sleeping, as it happens subconsciously. The exact cause of bruxism is not fully understood, but stress and anxiety are major contributors. People often clench their teeth when tense, even while awake. Neurochemical imbalances, particularly involving neurotransmitters like dopamine, may also play a role. Sleep disorders such as sleep apnea are strongly linked to bruxism, with many individuals who have sleep apnea also grinding their teeth. One theory is that brief arousals during sleep, possibly caused by noise or sleep apnea, may trigger teeth grinding. Cataplexy. Cataplexy is a sudden, brief loss of muscle tone while a person is awake, often triggered by strong emotions like laughter, surprise, or even anger. During a cataplectic episode, the person remains fully conscious but their muscles go limp. For example, their knees might buckle, their face may droop, or their body may collapse, but they do not lose awareness or consciousness. Cataplexy occurs because of a dysfunction involving the neuropeptide orexin. Orexin normally helps stabilize wakefulness and prevents REM-like muscle paralysis during waking hours. In people with cataplexy, the orexin system is impaired, leading to a sudden short circuit when an emotional stimulus triggers REM-like inhibition of motor neurons. This causes the muscles to relax, just as they would during REM sleep. Brain regions like the hypothalamus, amygdala, and brainstem are thought to mediate this response. Night terrors. Night terrors are intense episodes of arousal that happen during deep, non-REM sleep, usually in the first few hours after falling asleep. During a night terror, the sleeper might suddenly sit up or stand, scream or cry out in fear, and show signs like a rapid heart rate, sweating, and dilated pupils. The eyes are typically open but unfocused. The person may thrash around or be inconsolable, but they don't fully wake up or remember a dream afterward. These episodes are short, lasting from 30 seconds to a few minutes, and the person usually returns to sleep without recalling what happened. Night terrors happen because the brain shifts to an alarmed state without fully waking. This is often due to the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear, becoming active while the rest of the brain remains dormant. Factors like stress, sleep deprivation, fever, or sleep disorders can trigger night terrors. Children are more prone to them because they spend more time in deep sleep. REM sleep behavior disorder, RBD. RBD is a parasomnia where the typical paralysis of REM sleep is absent, allowing the sleeper to physically act out their dreams. Normally, during REM sleep, our muscles are paralyzed to prevent us from moving while dreaming. In RBD, this muscle paralysis is lost, and the person may talk, shout, or even move violently in response to dream content. For example, someone dreaming of a fight might punch or kick in their sleep. Typically, the person doesn't remember the event, as they are still in deep REM sleep. RBD is often linked to neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's disease, but it can also occur without any underlying condition. The cause of RBD involves dysfunction in the brainstem, which normally inhibits motor neurons during REM sleep. When this system fails, people may physically act out their dreams. Essentially, the brain treats dream content as reality, leading the body to act it out.